Sure hope you've been enjoying all those exclusive videos on Amazon Prime. War of the Worlds was just last week, the critically acclaimed Ice Cube film that had 0% for the longest time on Rotten Tomatoes, but an unsung hero came along and moved that thing up to 4%, so I guess we're gonna call that a win. Now, believe it or not, 2025's War of the Worlds Amazon exclusive featuring Ice Cube was terrible. And while yes, it is true, I'd rather take a chainsaw to my own leg, beating a baby to death with it, rather than watch that film again, Amazon Prime's newest exclusive, The Pickup, is a tad better. Still terrible, but a tad better. Let's talk about it. This is going to be a spoiler review, so tread lightly for The Pickup. But there's really not a whole lot to spoil unless you plan on ruining 90 minutes of your life watching the film. Instead, you only have to ruin like 10 minutes of your life watching this review of that film. That's better. And if you want to ruin more of your life in the future, I would absolutely appreciate if you subscribe to Adam Does Movies on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. That way you get a little bit more of me in your life in the future. And wouldn't that'd be something. It's free of charge. So there's that. Okay, The Pickup. Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson. Star in this movie. It's a buddy cop road trip heist of sorts. You gotta love it. But the real star of the film is Keke Palmer. She's a no-nonsense, highly skilled criminal who just so happens to be a strong female lead. And for an Amazon Prime exclusive, quite frankly, it's about time. I like actress Keke Palmer, specifically in Nope. Thought she did a great job in that role. With this film, she's nice to look at. And she does a fine job saying her incredibly generic lines. But let's talk about the budding friendship between our two leads. Eddie Murphy's Russell and Pete Davidson's Pete Davidson. I guess he's playing Travis, but is he ever really playing anything? Cocks on the table, as the expression goes. I'm not really a huge fan of Pete Davidson's material. He just doesn't really gel with me. I've never seen him in anything funny, and I think he's supposed to be a comedian. If you're into his whole shtick, maybe he'll work better for you than he did for me. But the chemistry his character Travis has with Russell, Eddie Murphy, not good. This is no Chris Farley, David Spade act. This is no John Lemon, Walter Matthau situation. And they are certainly no Lorelai and Rory Gilmore. I know my audience. Not helping anything is the fact that Eddie Murphy is playing a very straight man character. He's the 9-to-5 punch in, punch out sort of guy who wants to get home, and I don't blame him, to his wife, Eva Longoria, and he's got 6 months until retirement where he can open up a nice bed and breakfast. Why not just skip the breakfast and just stick with the bed, especially with, again, Eva Longoria. I digress. Let's keep talking about this crap show film. Eddie Murphy's at his best for me when he's a little bit more out there. He's a little bit more donkey and a little less of a jackass. These two gentlemen work for a fictitious armored truck company, and it's the first time this odd couple's getting paired up together. Pete's character Davis is a little bit of a wild card. He wants to be a police officer. Not helping matters, though, is the first time a pretty woman shows up at a bank, he pulls a gun on her, makes a huge scene, all because she held up a piece of paper. He didn't bother to read what was on the paper. His stupid instincts kicked in, and he thought it was going to be a robbery by this one woman with a piece of paper. It's just terrible right out of the gates. It sets a really bad tone for what's to come. And not helping things is, again, Pete Davidson is, in my opinion, not funny at all. After the debacle ends, Keke's character Zoe still informs Pete that, hey, she just wanted to go out on a date with him. Who wouldn't? I mean, I'm truly asking, who wouldn't? Because it seems like Pete Davidson got every piece of ass Hollywood had to offer. What is with this guy? And now he gets to pretend to make love to Keke Palmer? What are we even doing anymore? After a amazing night of passion where she informs us later she even did some butt stuff, it was all just so she could get intel on the route that this company was taking with the armored vehicle, because she and 2 other dipshits are going to commandeer this vehicle so that they can do the real job, which is stealing $60 million from a casino. It was almost too easy. All right, well, there you go. You have the lay of the land. What do they do with it? Well, there's a few high-speed chases that are mediocre. They're not the worst thing. And you know what I can say as a positive for this new film? It is incredibly mediocre from front to back. This is the type of movie you put on, just like almost all these other streaming films, and then after 45 minutes, you lose complete interest in what's going on and you just go on your phone, or you leave the room and do something else and come back and say, oh, this is still going? That's interesting. There's nothing compelling in this movie. There's nothing very funny in this movie. It has a few moments here and there where I went, oh, I think the loudest I laughed, which was, and I'm going to show you exactly how it was. That was it. That was the laugh. The loudest I did that was when they did a reference to Beverly Hills Cop. Because Pete's character, Travis, has a Bluetooth speaker he puts up on the truck and he starts playing music. He turns the song later when he sees old man Eddie Murphy's getting peeved, and on comes Neutron Dance, which, you know, the big song in the first film, and then again they reused it in the fourth movie. I'm just burning, doing the Neutron Dance. I'm just burning, doing the Neutron Dance. The Pointer Sisters never miss. I could have listened to that whole song. It would have been the highlight of the movie, but it didn't go on very long, unfortunately. Thankfully, the movie doesn't either. It's an hour and a half. It's rated R. I'm saying that in a questionable way because I could have swore it was PG-13. Must have been a bunch of swearing. There's truly no other reason for this to have an R rating. The action here is incredibly tame. There's a few good stunts on vehicles, and there was a good chunk of time where I'm watching the movie going, why are they still in this situation? It's so easily avoidable at this point. I'm willing to shut my brain off for a lot of stupidity in films, but the final act of this thing is so completely inept. The script has lost the plot. Keke Palmer's character Zoe really wants to rob this casino, right? So she and these two goons that she hired for this job are gonna hit the armored vehicle while it's driving down this supposed dead zone that lasts for a good chunk of time, and there's almost no other cars on the road during this. Russell and Travis are able to fend off the two bozos, leaving just Keke's character left to deal with. She finally gets the best of them, and she says, all right, listen, jackasses, I don't want you two. I don't want what you have in the truck. I actually want to use the truck to pose as the security guards to get the money out. I have some other dude that conveniently redid the barcode scanning or whatever they need to do to get in and out. And Eddie Murphy's character Russell, who's thinking for the audience here, says, aren't they gonna question the fact that it's new security guards coming in with no information and no heads up as to where the old ones are? And Zoe's like, I'll take care of it. I'm awesome. She doesn't really take care of it. They just pull up there and everybody kind of gives them these like inquisitive, where are the other two guys? And Zoe's like, oh, you didn't hear? They both took personal days conveniently because some people attempted to hijack their truck. This is information I think would be publicly known or something they could easily check into, but they're like, oh, okay, well, seeing as there's a photo shoot going on right now and we have all the time in the world to check into this, we're not going to. And yeah, for some reason, there's a photo shoot going on in the vault. What? So you, along with I, might have been asking the same question. Why the fuck is Russell and Travis playing along with her? What leverage does she have on these two? Two guys, they're not even handcuffed or strapped down, pulling up to the casino. They could shout out that Zoe's bad. They could tackle her. They could go for the gun. Like, there are so many possibilities. What does she have on these two? Oh, but we have to remember, she has Russell's wife. She has another dude taking photos proving that if he steps over the line, she can kill her. That's all fine and dandy for about 30 minutes of the movie until Russell's wife shows up at the street corner, sees them in the armored car, and Zoe says, get in the car with them. What? So now she has zero leverage. They could take her out at any moment, but they still don't. They play along with this for no reason because we have to keep moving this plot forward somehow. The most amazingly stupid part is Zoe splits up the crew. She leaves Travis and Eva Longoria's character in the truck while her and Russell walk around the place to get the money, and no one decides in their infinite wisdom to tell a soul what's actually happening. It's perfect. It's just perfect. By the way, speaking of smart choices in this movie that really pull you out of a situation, Travis's boss find out about the complete ineptitude of his employee pulling out a gun at a bank. And so he fires Travis on the spot. Now, while I don't have an employee handbook in front of me presently, I'm pretty positive after having like a dozen jobs growing up, you don't fire an employee while they're still working, unless you can escort them out of the premises. Typically, you do it on a Friday after the shift is over. No, he's gonna tell Travis while he's driving an expensive vehicle full of expensive, priceless items across the country. It's genius level of thinking and writing here. This is sadly a positive I'm gonna give this movie right now. This is far from the worst movie I've seen in 2025. Is that a glowing review? Hell no, it's not. This is the most basic, mid-level trash you could watch. There's enough forward momentum going on throughout this film where you're not gonna be really bored, I should say, with any of the action and whatnot. It's just nothing excels. There's not like great cinematography. There's not great, really funny comedy. The action's been done to death and it's boring. It's overall just a sub-level film that you don't need to waste your time on. Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson have far better stuff in their catalog. I misspoke. Eddie Murphy has far better stuff in his catalog. Well, there you have it. My thoughts on Amazon Prime's The Pickup. A lot better than War of the Worlds. That's a glowing review for you. But I still don't think it's a movie you need to pick up. I would appreciate if you picked up my channel, though. Adam Does Movies on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. That way, hopefully, I save you precious time having to sit through 90 minutes of dreck. Instead, let me carry that burden for you. All right, that's all I have. Hopefully, I see you next time. Take care. If you appreciate my content, I am a one-man band. This is a ton of work, and you want a way to give back. Head on over to patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. There's tons of exclusive perks over there. Look at these awesome supporters so far. There's some of the best people on this planet, and you could be one of them. You could be right there alongside, and I would appreciate it.